Well, hello guys. This is Ken Winans and Stephanie Larson from Winans Investments, coming from a very soggy day at our office. Hope everyone's staying warm and safe. Anyways, we wanted to quickly touch base with all of you. We had a lot of inquiries about several things. The fact that we were taking profits in our equities, questions about K1s, questions about bonds. It's obviously tax season, so we just wanted to really do a quick video and touch base and let you guys know what's going on.
Absolutely. So, and as we promised everybody, we would talk to you after earnings season, after January, and certainly, and we're happy to report that earnings for the companies, at least that we own, did very, very well. In fact, they exceeded expectations. Stephanie and I, we communicate every morning, very, very early in the morning, and we were very happy to see some big pops in a lot of our core holdings. Meta certainly was one. Sterling Infrastructure is another. Just big pops. So we're happy to report that, you know, as we were very conservative last year, well, this year, whatever, we've made up a lot of ground and we're way ahead of our benchmarks and our expectations. So we just, you know, certainly want to let you all know, I'm sure you'll all be happy, you know, knock on wood, if things move like this for the rest of the quarter.
Well, and what I'll say is that, you know, if you remember, in January, we actually took profits off the table after a very strong end of 2023. And again, we had to do it again. If you look at the names that were sold out of your portfolios and look at them on your phone, look at them on Yahoo Finance, you know, wherever you can find it, look at their performance over the last year and you can see why. And a lot of them have the same patterns, and you know, it's not just positive, they had really hockey sticked and accelerated. And it doesn't mean that we feel that they're going to pull back, but when you have that much momentum, you really want to take profits off the table. Secondly, even though we had normalized a lot of positions in January, and what I mean is normal is, say the standard equity position is about 3%. You know, they go up to 4 because of strong performance. Well, then you bring it back down to 3 or 2.5, and then again they've ran back up. So we're trying to keep them in a normal range. Otherwise, if you just kind of turn your back on them, the position can get to 6-7%, and we just don't want that type of exposure, especially after the run it's had. So we just don't want to give back everything that we've just earned. We worked really hard to get the performance that we've had, and we just don't want to give it back. So.
And we are keenly aware. I mean, certainly if you are going to take profits, you like to do it early enough in a year so you have plenty of time to offset any taxable gains going forward. But I'll just say this. As of right now, we're talking about a lot of our stock holdings. Our portfolios are up 9 and 10% in the first 7 weeks of the year. First off, we would love to have that annualized of that number, that make the year be like over 100% gains. We all know that's not going to happen. There's going to be a lot of volatility this year. There's a lot of balls being juggled in the air right now. And when you have these stocks extended so far past, I mean, many of them are where they would be at the end of this year. That's way too rich. And yet, what Stephanie said, we rebalance. The analogy I often use is like a garden. Every now and then you have to prune your rose bush. You have to trim branches on your tree, or else you have the possibility of it getting in trouble.
Well, I was going to say about performance real fast before you continue, apologies, is that don't look at your portfolio and if you have like a 50-50 and say, oh, I'm only up 5. I can tell you that the bonds are flat for the year, performance-wise. We're 7 weeks in, we don't have any interest really have come in. The Fed hasn't done anything. So bonds are just kind of clunking along. We had a really strong run in bonds last year. Spreads are really tight. So they're just kind of flat for the year. So your equity your portfolio might be up 5, but your equity only represents half your portfolio. So please don't get confused with that, because we have some clients that are like, they're in a 25-75, so only 25% exposure. They're like, I'm only up 3. And I'm like, well, that's because of the exposure you have. So just keep that in mind, please.
So a couple other quick things. We're going to keep this video short today, but on your 1099s, let's just talk about some administrative things real quick. You're getting 2 sets of 1099s. You're getting a set from Schwab and you're getting a set from TD for people who had accounts at TD Ameritrade. We're also aware that some of you, there will be some K1s that had to do with certain funds that we had, particularly in the commodity area. Look, I don't like K1s either. They're a pain. It's sometimes hard to know which funds are going to have K1s and which are not. What I can tell you is that we're trying to avoid those kind of things going forward,
Yeah.
trying to make it more efficient and effective. A couple other quick things.
Yeah.
We on a good note, we just expanded our office in Las Vegas. I went and signed the lease a few weeks ago. So for those of you in Las Vegas and certainly in Southern California, you will be seeing a lot more of me because I am officially going to be moving to Las Vegas in May. One of the questions that keeps coming up, and I'm just going to end it right now, I am not retiring.
You're not retiring?
No, I'm not. I know some people wish I would, but I'm not retiring. The move to Vegas is because we are repositioning our company. We are also going to have an office in Salt Lake City, which we'll talk about in the future. But the point is, I want to be more central to where our business is going. Stephanie's going to stay in the Northern California office. She will run it up here. But we just want to let you know there's nothing changing. If anything, it's going to be a stronger, more capable firm as we go through the rest of this year.
A lot of you guys don't know, one of our operations people actually moved on to LA. So we have a satellite office in LA. We are, as Ken will mention later in the future, we will have a team in Salt Lake City, so we'll have an office in Salt Lake City. I will stay here in Marin. This is where my home is. So Ken will now be actually right in the middle of all three of the main offices, which is perfect. No, he's not retiring, although we've had several people ask about that.
No, I'm not. In the game, I'm like Warren Buffett. I want to keep going. I enjoy it. It's fun. So none of you have anything to worry about with these moves that are going on. It's just strictly a lot of things there. Real quick, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, the nice thing is though now, if you really do want to have a face-to-face, it is very easy for us to go where the main amount of our assets are. We have a ton of assets in SoCal, we have a ton of assets in Vegas, we have a ton of assets here in Marin. So it's very easy to have some FaceTime now if you really do want that.
And I'm going to plan to come back every 6 to 8 weeks to Marin. I mean, Stephanie and I need to get together and have face-to-face meetings and things. But no, I mean, I'm certainly going to continue to have a presence here. But again, I will be officially becoming a vegan. And since I like hockey and they have a championship hockey team, I'll be thrilled to be amongst that.
I'll stick to the Niners.
Yeah, all right, yeah. All right, so we have that. That's not, so I think we've got the K1 thing. Folks, we're doing the best we can on these things. You know,
I was going to talk about the K1s.
Okay. Look, you just let your accountants know. I mean, Schwab is still wrestling with the merger with TD. It's out of our hands. We're doing the best we can. But I know that a lot of people get very anxious about taxes. Just let your accountants know. We will get things to them as soon as we have it or you receive it.
So part of why we're bringing up the K1s, I received a notice from Invesco, which has DBC. DBC is the one commodity play that we had broadly in our accounts. So I knew that my K1 was available, which is why I told our staff to let everybody know that this was now available, most likely for them. So here's the deal. The broad commodity plays that we were in 2 years ago with Terracom, there's only a couple accounts that had those this year, and those were by request. Broadly for our equity account holders, if you have equity, in an allocation to it in 2023, there's a good chance that you owned DBC at some point. Now, we can confirm that, and we've had about a dozen clients call and ask or email and ask to confirm, which we're happy to do. The problem is we can't log in to your account at Invesco, which would have your K1. You have to do it. So we're happy to try to walk you through it, try to help you or hold your hand through it, but we can't. Now, the alternative is if you don't want to log in or if it's too cumbersome or difficult or you can't figure it out and just don't want to deal with it, you can wait. They'll be mailed to you, but it's probably going to be a few weeks. With that being said, since it is tax season coming up, it might require you to file an extension. Not a big deal, just let your CPA know. But it is one K1 coming in, only one, and we will try to avoid them in the future. But just FYI.
Yeah, I mean it's too bad that it's not a more streamlined process, but it is what it is. All right, some other quick things. We were going to try to keep this video short.
Yeah.
Please go back and review my last several Forbes articles. It really will tell you how I feel about the election this year and how it has bearing on your finances. Also, our stock selection. Many of you asked, how do we pick stocks? please look at that. Stephanie, you're also going to be working on a new Forbes article about bonds. So when we write these articles, it is as much for our clients as it is for the general audience. We want you to understand how we see the world. But this is going to be an interesting year on a lot of fronts. We're here. We're focused on it very intensely.
Yeah.
And just keep in mind that we watch the news cycle as much as you do, and we're aware of it. So let's just hang in there. Hope to see. I mean, for those of you who I did not see in Southern California, I will be coming back out to the LA area in the summertime, and I really do hope to see most of our clients at some point in time in the next 12 months.
Well, and then I'll just touch base real quick on the bonds, and then we should probably sign off. On the fixed income side of the portfolios, what we're seeing, like I said, we had a really strong run up. The spreads are getting narrow. Bonds are more expensive, but I'm still finding good paper. What I'm seeing is a lot of called bonds. I think this month alone, I've seen 6, if I remember. I think 2 more is still coming. So a lot of paper is leaving. So I'm trying to backfill the paper as much as possible. It's requiring me to go out a little bit, and I'll give a perfect example. This is one of the broadest bonds I've bought, meaning for our client base, in a long time, because we had so much called paper. I bought a Paramount bond today, and almost 3 million of it, actually. And so it's going to be broadly across all clients. Well, for clients that don't have a maturity restriction, meaning they want short paper only, I bought the 30. Well, the 30 pays, about, I think it was 7.3 or 4% US maturity. For ones that had a maturity restriction, I bought the 28, which was about 6.7. So you can see in this one bond, it's 2 separate bond issuances of the same company, the difference in yield between just 2 years. So that's why when I say I have to go out just a little bit further, that little bit further gets you some extra oomph, and I really want that oomph for the portfolio. So you'll start to see that. I'll start going out just a little bit further as we're buying. But the bond space is still healthy. Like I said, I can still get over 7% on a bond for everybody. It just takes a lot more work, and you'll know as I'm buying, I'm actually buying a little slower. So we do have a lot of newer accounts, and I'm trying to get the paper in there. And between trying to buy new bonds and having bonds get called, it's been a lot of work. So, but we're getting there. We're really comfortable and happy with what's going on in the portfolios.
Absolutely. Listen, we're going to cut it off there.
Yep.
We just want to say hello, and we'll be in touch within the next 30 days or so. So
sounds good.
hang in there, everybody. And take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.